So Joy Reid is out at MSNBC as the programming overhaul is happening. Now, there's a lot of people like, this is the change in the culture we deserve, and this is great, and Joy Reid's out. Yeah, Joy Reid's terrible. Don't get it twisted. The lady's awful. She's a race baiter, and she's full of hate. She's just, there's very little redeeming value about her show because it's divisive, and it's not good for anybody. It reinforces negative stereotypes, and she was out there to fulfill that race baiting need. And I don't think it was healthy for anybody. It's not good for the discourse in this union when you have it. Now, there are people on the right that do the same thing, right? But they've been banished to like One America News and Newsmax or YouTube channels. So people follow them if they want to watch them. Joy Reid was on a main platform on cable news where anybody could have access to it. And now if Joy Reid wants to start a podcast that says More Joy or whatever she wants to call it, and she wants to have those opinions, it's her right as an American. She can do whatever the hell she wants on whatever radio, whatever podcast, YouTube channel she wants. I won't care. But when you're on a main cable news outlet, you got to be more careful than how she was. And so I don't think this is the culture change a lot of people are saying. I kind of tend to believe that liberals are like cold sores. They pop up, then they go away, but they never truly are extinct. This is just an overall shift, I believe, also in the cable news era. I think cable news is on its way out, to be completely honest. If you look at the way CNN is reacting, if you look at the way that MSNBC is reacting, if you look at the way that all of these cable channels are reacting, they're kind of dinosaurs in the age of streaming, and that nobody really pays. The only people that watch MSNBC, CNN, Fox, any of those are elderly people that still have cable that just want background noise, or, doctors' offices or airports. They just put something on to have in the background, and they really don't have any use for that. They're essentially the Weather Channel. It's something you put on for your dog when you go out of the house. If you really hate your dog, you would put on Joy Reid. You're a bad dog, you're going to listen to Joy Reid for the hour. No. So it's a major programming overhaul that I think is reflective of the fact that they know that the tone they were using was bad. The message will stay the same, but the tone they are going to use will be less abrasive. This abrasive, in-your-face tone that Joy was bringing, I know I keep saying it, that Miss Reid was bringing, is now obsolete because people overwhelmingly voted against it. So there's a sweeping series of change coming in April. By the way, Joy Reid was making $3 million a year. $3 million a year. Oh boy, would I take a quarter of that. MSNBC has announced major programming moves affecting its weekday and weekend schedule starting in April. The biggest one was the canceling of ReidOut, which saw her 7 p.m. show get canceled after a 5-year run. As a result of these moves, Reid will no longer be a part of the network. With rotating anchors, she had been with the network since 2011, started as a contributor, then moving on to the show. In addition, Alex Wagner will no longer anchor the 9 p.m. slot. And then other people, blah, blah, blah. Who you don't even know who half these people are because nobody watched her show. So, of course, Joy at first was, she went on with a couple people. She went on a call, and this was her response to it. And, you think what you think.
And that, I'm sorry, that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And that it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you. Where I land is that the moment of guilt that I felt, that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom.
See, now the way she's going to dress this up, and damage control is everybody. Everybody has a reason. Well, is that she's going to tell you that the reason she was let go is that she was platforming radical ideas, which to anybody who understood MSNBC's mission and the rest of the lineup would think that's just hysterical in that regard, because she's absolutely 100%. She was put there for that purpose. She was put there to be a representative for the strongest voting bloc of the Democratic Party, which is Black women. This is not me making things up. This is not even a racial thing. If you look at it, it's Black women and the LGBT MAP community are the largest voting blocs, and white women, of course, of liberals. And she was there to represent that, and to direct is a better word to say, to direct Black women on how to feel about the current administration or whatever the case may be, and to warn you of the dangers of Trump and all this other kind of stuff.
Or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted, and not just.
How long did that last? I just would like anybody want to talk about how long Stop Asian Hate actually lasted? Just want to bring that up.
Black folks that, or went hard for immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life, and defended them. Or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our liberty.
Ooh, injurious. Oh, sorry.
The Black Lives Matter issues of or went hard for immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life, and defended them. Or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our liberty, defending books that people find inconvenient, that.
See, all of these things are great to the liberal audience. They're all great to the liberal audience. The problem is the liberal audience doesn't watch MSNBC. They don't.
Cole Hannah-Jones put into our spirit that we need to understand 1619 as the real founding of this country, whether it's talking about any of these issues, and yes, whether it's talking about Gaza, and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object, to little babies being bombed. And
Really?
And where I come down on that is I'm not sorry. I am not sorry that I stood up.
I wouldn't be sorry either if you were paying me $3 million. I try to have principles, but I'm also doing this show for free. I'd like to eventually get paid sometime, somewhere from it. I'm not saying I would sell out for $3 million. I'd say I'd sell out for $15 million. But there is a place, there is a line. You're getting paid $3 million. Of course you're not sorry. $3 million for 5 years.
For those things, because those things are of God.
Which God are you talking about?
And I'm a church girl too. And
whatever church you subscribe to, ma'am, I don't want to. I'm gonna shut my face.
Those are the things that I was taught were of God, and so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud of my show.
Well, I'm glad you were, because nobody else was, and that's why you got canceled. I mean, yeah. Where is it? It was up here. Yeah. If you really brought value, like Ricky Maddow does, or the fact that Ricky Maddow is the greatest thing that they have on that show, they would have found a way to keep her. Because Rachel Maddow makes ungodly amounts of money for working as little as she does. So she's out, and I don't think anybody's sad about it. Just understand that this is not a change in culture. This is a change in the enemy's strategy. This is a change in our political opponent's strategy. They will not be as abrasive. Like Rachel, Ricky Maddow will still continue to be abrasive. That's what she gets paid for. But the fact is, the rest of it will be more tailored to a softer approach, to not be as abrasive, because they are the talking point, the mouthpiece for the Democratic Party.